According to a German publication site, Tesla has actually started ordering German machinery that they've already started using at Giga Berlin, at Giga Texas, but specifically machinery to build Cybertruck powertrains. And yes, we're talking about the machine that makes the machine here, but it's those types of updates that tell us how close Cybertruck production truly is. And luckily, this timeline actually lines up quite a bit with what previous statements had been made, especially from Elon, who was saying within the next 12 months they were hoping to begin Cybertruck production. So this publication site aligns with that, saying that it's meant to come online and actually start building Cybertruck powertrains by July of 2023, meaning 1 year from now is when they want production to begin at some kind of meaningful volume. But keep in mind that does not mean deliveries will be in July of 2023. In fact, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, because there's ultimately a lot of hurdles and a lot of obstacles in the way preventing the Cybertruck from actually hitting the market. But of course, the 9,000-ton gigapress from Hydra needs to be shipped over from Italy. Elon confirmed that is the machinery being used for the Cybertruck's body. Now we're hearing about machinery that's going to be used for the powertrain, and the publication site says the machinery that they're shipping is capable of doing 750,000 drive units per year. The only thing we're not entirely clear on is how many drive units does the Cybertruck have, right? Because it's assumed to be a quad motor, and some people interpret drive unit as all of the motors together, but I think 750,000 Cybertrucks a year sounds like quite a stretch, and of course it will probably not be at full capacity from day one. It'll take possibly a year or more for that production to ramp up. But let's just be on the conservative side for the sake of the argument here, so that we don't get our hopes too high, as it's easy to do with Cybertruck updates. So let's just assume a drive unit counts as one motor. That would still be over 150,000 Cybertrucks a year once fully ramped. But the other thing to keep in mind here is powertrain production, which Tesla's been doing for a very, very long time. And just ask Sandy Monroe about the Plaid powertrain. They have ironed it out and got this down to an extreme amount of scale. Basically, due to all of the dual motor powertrains in Tesla's vehicles, now triple motor powertrains, Tesla builds more electric vehicle motors than basically anybody else on the planet, and they know how to ramp production of that. So even though this machinery could theoretically be capable of building close to 200,000 Cybertrucks per year, I don't think that's going to be the limiting factor. Or in other words, the number of powertrains they can build does not define how many Cybertrucks they can build. That's all going to come back to batteries, which is what I want to address mostly in this video, what some other major obstacles are before Cybertruck production can officially begin. And if we come back to thinking why Tesla has delayed the Cybertruck production, it's because they have so much of a demand backlog for the Model Y and a very finite number of 4680 batteries to choose from already, to the point that they're building 2170 Model Ys out of Giga Texas. But some people in the comments have brought up some interesting points that I feel like I should acknowledge in the video, which is that once the Cybertruck is out and they're actually starting to deliver them, that actually may start to change the amount of demand we have for vehicles like the Model S and X and Y and 3. Once it's officially out and you can actually buy one, despite the fact that the price is likely going to be pretty insanely high, that might start to take away some of the high demand and sales of the Model X potentially, or maybe even the Model S, depending on what people are buying Teslas for. Is it for that luxurious interior, or is it for the latest generation tech, and the Model S and X are just new and they were refreshed, so do a bunch of people want that? And maybe the demand would be pushed off of those luxury vehicles once the Cybertruck comes online. But I think Tesla's thinking is that once Giga Texas is fully ramped up and able to produce 500,000 vehicles per year, and of course Fremont continues to scale up as well, once they can actually meet demand and have enough supply to cover all of the Model Ys in the United States, and given the long-range Model Y is the most popular model, the fact that they're building 2170 Model Ys out of Texas means that within the next year, it should be possible for them to ramp up further. Maybe later in the year, they'll update the configurator to accommodate for the standard range all-wheel drive Model Y, and hopefully as Giga Texas ramps up, they'll be able to match demand there, to the point that they'll actually have some spare 4680 batteries around to divert to the Cybertruck. But right now, they don't even want to take orders for the 4680 Model Y, so I have a feeling we've got a ways to go until that ramp is complete. And the reason I bring that up, and the reason I say that's a big important point, is because it's very likely the Cybertruck is going to require at minimum twice the number of 4680 batteries as that standard range Model Y, and Tesla's already charging $62,000 for that trim, and they can easily sell that model with higher color options already selected, with the higher end tires, and with full self-driving equipped to improve margins. So essentially, if you have a certain number of 4680 cells, you'll be able to build twice as many Model Ys as you would Cybertruck Cybertrucks because of how more efficient and how much smaller the Model Y is. So the whole reason they've delayed the Cybertruck is because they've said we would deliver less vehicles total if we introduced it. So we have to get to the point where Model Y production has ramped up so much that they actually have 4680 batteries to spare, and Model Y demand has been matched with the supply. Now Tesla has to come up with a new vehicle model, some type of vehicle with a lot of demand and a lot of interest to divert those 4680 cells into, so that they can continue with their mission statement of accelerating the world to more sustainable energy. And of course, the Cybertruck has more demand than any other Tesla prototype that's been unveiled so far. Clearly, there's a huge backlog for it, and a lot of people are interested in any electric pickup truck, regardless of Tesla, Rivian, Ford. Lots of people want to buy these things, and that's the only thing I want to preface moving forward before we think that, oh, well, once they get all of the equipment in place, then they're going to start building the Cybertruck. I think we could easily get hit with another disappointing delay in the event that Model Y demand is not matched. But the good news is Giga Berlin ramping up should hopefully mean less Model Ys need to be imported from Shanghai. Shanghai is going to continue to ramp up, which means they can cover more international markets and local markets of the Model Y. And of course, Fremont is continuing to expand, and Giga Texas is really dependent on whether or not the Cybertruck reaches production, because as long as there's like a year-long backlog for the Model Y, there's honestly going to be very little reason to start building the Cybertruck. So here's hoping they can actually start matching demand. And if you're really excited for the Cybertruck and you hope that they start building it soon, tell all of your friends and family stop buying the Model Y, because as long as there's people buying the Model Y, Tesla's gonna say, well, I guess we don't really need to start Cybertruck production yet, because we can sell with the same number of batteries 2 standard range Model Ys for like over $124,000 now at minimum. You know, that's before options, and I have a feeling that the margins on 2 of those Model Ys would be better than that of the margins on the Cybertruck, because that's a new vehicle, lots of new manufacturing techniques, and it's probably not going to be profitable to build for a while just because of all the batteries it needs. The exoskeleton is going to be tricky to ramp up. They've never manufactured a steel vehicle like this before, plus the rear wheel steering, the armored glass, the new interior design, and all that. There's going to be a lot of losses at the initial ramp up, whereas just continuing to build 4680 Model Ys, I think that's far more profitable in the short term for Tesla. So hold off on Model Y orders if you really want the Cybertruck to come out. But yes, Tesla does at least appear to be getting the assembly line ready and ordering the machine that builds the machine, and hopefully Joe Tegmeyer or Jeff Roberts is able to catch the installation of that new manufacturing equipment over the next couple months whenever it starts to arrive. When do you guys think Cybertruck production and deliveries will officially begin? Feel free to let me know your thinking down below, and thank you to everyone on Patreon supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. Have an excellent rest of your day.